Hello, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely, completely random podcast, where this week I don't have some weird being from another dimension trying to take over my podcast. I don't have an overweight, obsessed guy that's intelligent beyond measure trying to take over it, and I sure as hell don't have the devil trying to take over it, but I wish that the devil's a part-time we're going to season 2. But anyway, we're going to get into that. But anyway, it's been a good week. So here are the topics for this week, by the way. The Pokemon Go update is killing the game. Yes, that's right, folks. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Spiderman Homecoming. Yes, we all know that movie's coming out. I decided to give my thoughts on a Marvel and DC crisscross. Like, what characters I think that Marvel could get from the DC universe and vice versa. The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2 is a no-go, at least for now. God, I wish it would be. And I'm also going to be talking about TFS plays Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans, and God, does that game suck. But, on top of this, maybe a couple other topics, like surprise, random topics, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, you know the drill like always. If you're in the mood for trading cards, collectibles, what have you, check out A Roads 2012 on eBay. That's right, folks. A Roads 2012. That's me! Yes, it is. So this week's been a lot of fun. And I mean, it's kind of entertaining, so to speak. The week itself, not so much. I do get a week vacation. Woohoo! Yep, for the holiday. I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I think it's kind of like a well-deserved vacation. I was just telling my mom about this tonight because it kind of feels like my coworkers and I, at least my one coworker and I, it kind of feels like we're reaching an impasse where we're kind of starting to get on each other's nerves because we see each other all the damn time. And now, this is a part-time job, mind you, so we're only seeing each other like maybe 2 or 3 days a week. And it just kind of feels like we're seeing way too much of each other to the point that we're going nuts, basically. And it's fine and dandy in a way, but still, it's just, it's one of those, I kind of think this week-long vacation is going to be good for everybody because then we can get a break from each other, we can recharge our batteries, we can, process it. I mean, I'm not saying that the whole place is getting a week-long vacation. I mean that the position that I have gets about a week-long vacation, if I figured it right. Because I'm going to go back until next Friday, so it makes me happy, in a way. So I'm looking forward to it. I got some plans for the 4th of July. No, they're not podcast related. Sorry about that, folks. But no, I got a couple plans for the 4th of July and what have you. But anyway, this week's been kind of fun. Like I said, we had a couple storms that rolled through here, knocked out internet for a little bit. Didn't knock out power, but I know it did screw with the internet. I mean, they're not going to, it come right out and admit it, but I know it did. Didn't lose power, though. Did brown out a couple times on me last night. Did not lose power. Had torrential downpours and a lot of other stuff. But all in all, this week's been kind of fun. But you're not here to hear about my week. You don't give two shits about my week. You're here because of the topics. So let's get into this and let me shut up about how my week's going. So let's start off with The Devil is a Part-Timer. This is one of the greatest anime series that I have ever seen. It's like a slice of life meets a fantasy adventure. It is so freaking cool. You have innuendos in there. I mean, they are well-placed innuendos. You have a tremendously, beautifully lovely plot, all wrapped up in a McDonald's wrapper of just pure funny pure funny comedic gold. The story centers around the devil, who, after a crappy attempt to take over his world, escapes to ours. Yeah. No magic, no powers, what have you. He's screwed. But this went on for a good season. About 13, I think it was 13 episodes. They did a really good job of wrapping it up. Though the ending, they had like a standalone episode as the ending, so you kind of figured, yeah, we're waiting for a second episode. In this case, we didn't exactly get that. Now, the whole reason why this came out is because the cast reunited for a new drama CD. And yes, those are a big thing in Japan, apparently. Maybe I should look into making some of those here. Nah. My one coworker said I should really try doing some voice acting. As apparently my evil laugh, according to my mom, can, or would have given Vincent Price a run for his money. By the way, he is dead. She confirmed that for me. It's kind of sad when she goes that I could literally give Vincent Price a run for his money. That's scary. But anyway, the cast reunited for a drama CD. And it was called The Devil Adopts a Stray Cat. Haven't heard it. Unless it's going to be in animated form or manga form. No offense. It doesn't really bother me. Because this is going to be in Japanese. Now, I can understand Japanese to a point. I'm not saying that I'm fluent in it. Oh, God, no. No way am I fluent in Japanese. I can understand it to a point. But I'm sort of like that joke that Gabriel Iglesias made years ago. Where he goes about if you ever start speaking Spanish at one of his comedy shows, don't go flipping out on the management. I'm kind of like one of those people wondering, where's the SAP button every time I hear something in Japanese? I'm like, okay, where's the SAP button? Damn it, where's the subtitles? Where's the subtitles? I mean, in all honesty, if I'd probably go to Japan right now, I would honestly be holding a DVD remote or a Blu-ray remote going, subtitles? Subtitles? Why aren't you giving me subtitles? Oh, I don't mean for that sound sensitive, but it's kind of true. Like I said, I can't understand it to a point. I know a couple phrases. Honestly, I don't even really know enough to get my ass around. I would literally probably end up in the worst part of Japan and probably get lost there and starve, knowing my luck. So anyway, I mean, I'm being 100% honest on this. But the gang reunited for that drama CD, and Wagahara, who we should all know as, well, come on, we all know who it is. Unfortunately, he said, and I quote, "There's no way I can promise a second season. This is decided in meetings of the higher-ups, and they may never decide to produce that sequel. However, I promise that I will put all my efforts into making this work as good as possible for my readers." And this was after being, I guess, asked questions, or, the fans have been wanting this. Hell, I even want this. Online video views on platforms like Nikoniko, hence the drama CD is what they've been doing. I guess it's kind of made to quell people. But the anime is a business. It comes down to dollars and cents, and a lot of factors go into deciding what to produce it. And that's what he explained. Though it's basically this, when I was reading this, I basically feel like that Nintendo fan begging Reggie for Mother 3. I almost feel like that Robot Chicken episode, that Robot Chicken skit, "Come on, Reggie, give us Mother 3!" And if memory serves, this was Funimation's baby. So I almost feel like I'm standing at let's say an anime expo, and Funimation's having a panel, and I'm in the front row going, "Come on, Funimation, give us The Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2! Or better yet, give us more Case Closed! You morons ruined that! I'm never going to let that go, either." But this is kind of sad. But in the end, he is right. It does come down to dollars and cents. I can understand that. But still, it's kind of neat to have a drama CD, so you know that the fan base is still there. So the entire cast from the 2013 anime, including the voices of Sadao Mao, Emi Yusa, reunited for the new audio CD. Mao Tsukeniko wo Hiro, also called The Devil Adopts a Stray Cat. This was an occasion for series original light novel author Satoshi Wagahara to be reminded about the internet in a second season, or the interest in a second season, courtesy probably of the internet, because I know fans out there have been screaming second season, second season. I'm one of them. This was really good. But in the end, it does come down to dollars and cents. It's not exactly something you can just push off to the wayside and go, yeah, we can do this. Maybe not. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it if it does come out, though I doubt it ever will. Still sounds kind of cool. And in case you're hearing any banging noises, one of the local entertainment attractions by where I live is shooting off fireworks for the 4th of July. What a wonderful way to celebrate your independence. Shoot off fireworks and annoy your neighbors. But yeah, so, I mean, I understand the whole concept. It is a business in the end. Anime is a business. And unless whatever company is going to okay it and be able to take responsibility for it, not only for producing it, but fronting the cash for it, definitely has to be something that you got to take into consideration. Because if the fan base isn't going to be there and they're not going to make back a whole crap ton of money, they're not going to want to do it. I mean, that's literally why half of these series is bombed out. Of course, it doesn't help that if you pick a company that doesn't know what they're doing, media blasters. It doesn't help if they don't know what they're doing and they screw you over, media blasters. Because as we know, those companies are often the ones that end up making good series, Bakuman, completely go under the radar, and because of them, media blasters. The series itself effectively sucks. Media blasters. Excuse me, I'm having some really bad sneezing fits all of a sudden here. But yeah, anyway, I can understand his reasoning behind it. I really want a second season. Even if it's just like maybe, I'll even settle for like a 3 or 4 episode OVA to finish off the whole thing. Or even just a movie. I mean, Tiger and Bunny this. Come out with a standalone movie. I could go for that. You know, The Devil's a Part-Timer, Conquest or something. You know, come out with like a standalone movie. I could go for that. I think the fans probably could too. Or like a 2 or 3 episode OVA. I think all the fans could go for that. But either way, yeah, I understand his point behind it. But still, it would be nice. Alrighty. So Spider-Man Homecoming. Yes. This movie is coming, folks. Next week, in fact. So actually, next week. Never mind, next week. And I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to see it. And there's a reason why I'm on the fence about it. While, yes, it's going to have my all-time favorite numero uno Marvel superhero in it, Iron Man. At the same time, it's going to have one of the most disturbing and, I personally think, weak as shit Spider-Man villains in this, the Vulture. This is what was funny, is that I heard a commercial. I had no idea the Vulture was going to be in this movie. And I heard a commercial when I was waiting to start work. I should say when I was driving to work. I heard a commercial because I listened to 95.7 Ben FM. Woo! There's some free publicity for you on a podcast that gets very little views. But anyway, I was listening to them, and they had a contest going on that you could win tickets to an advanced screening. And when they're giving a bit of a synopsis for the plot, they go, well, the Vulture. I'm like, the Vulture? I screamed this. I'm driving. I have the window open because it's a little on the warm side. I'm driving. All of a sudden, I scream at the top of my lungs, the Vulture! Out of all the Spider-Man villains you have to choose from, the plethora of opponents that Spider-Man has taken down in his tenure, you pick the Vulture. What, was Rhino busy? No, wait. I got it. What's one of the... What, Mysterio couldn't come around? The Vulture? Seriously, the Vulture? So, I did a little bit of research, and thank you to the nerds and intellectuals at Wikipedia. They have a plot synopsis up already. Now, I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you, but you can look it up by typing in Spiderman Homecoming and pull up the Wikipedia article and going down the plot, because it's there. I can't ruin something that you can easily find on your own. But anyway, I did find a little bit about it. It is coming out this month, because this is July. It's, July 1st, 2017, which is the day of the podcast. I don't think I mentioned that this week. Huh, that's weird. Or if I did, I screwed up. Oh, well. That makes this thing random. So, in 2012, Stark Industries and the federal government, according to the plot synopsis, created the U.S. Department of Damage Control. And we couldn't have just had that instead of having the whole Civil War thing. But, all right, whatever. Inadvertently driving salvage company owner Adrian Toomes, or Toomies, whatever you want to call it, out of business. A disillusioned Toomies convinces his colleagues not to surrender the Chitauri technology already scavenged from the Battle of New York, hence the Avengers movie. So you had to have seen the Avengers movie in order to understand this movie. It's all tying into the great world of the MCU. Ah, yes. Doing what DC has never been able to do since, I want to say 2005? Pretty much doing what DC couldn't do since 2005, I think. At least. But anyway, they want to use the technology that they're not going to surrender to the government to further a criminal empire. Years later, following the Avengers Civil War, which, by the way, if you didn't see it, was nothing like the damn comics. Peter Parker resumes his studies at Midtown Science and Technology School after being told by Tony Stark that he is not ready to join the Avengers. So, the billionaire genius playboy philanthropist that has a tendency to self-destruct himself, a narcissistic man, according to Agent Romanoff from the second Iron Man movie, tells Peter Parker that you are not ready to join the Avengers. This is the big leagues. We called you in because we needed an extra hand for this mission. You just go back onto the bleachers. We don't need you anymore. No. Let the big boys handle this. You go sit over there. That's right. Right there. Perfect. Okay, you're just fine. All right, guys, let's go do this. Thor, Hulk, you guys go smash stuff. Cap, you stay the hell in jail. All right, let's do this. So that's basically what it seems like to me. It's like, yeah, you're not ready to join the Avengers. But apparently, over the objection of his Aunt May, Peter quits the school's decathlon team to focus on his internship at Stark Industries. Ah, yes, good old Stark Industries, doing what every company in the world does, and feeling so smug about it at the same time. Internship that better be paid, Parker, because you're working for a company run by a billionaire. You cannot tell me that there's no such thing as unpaid internships there. I think somebody would have sued their ass. That's free labor, folks. And it's sad but true. Which is a cover for his crime-fighting activities. Okay, so Peter Parker's using his internship at Stark Industries as a cover to fight crime. Okay. I'm game for that. It couldn't have just said, hey, I'm joining a sports team. No, that's too easy. My aunt might want to come see that. I can't say, oh, God, what's another lame-ass excuse? I got a part-time job? No, my aunt might want the extra money. Well, then I gotta have an internship. Maybe it's paid. I don't know. But I'm just using it as a thing to fight crime because I want to get closer to Tony Stark, who's my mentor. But this is the last paragraph I have of the synopsis. Is like I said, I don't want to ruin everything because it literally gives you almost the whole movie, which tells me that it was somebody that went to see an advanced screening of it. So one night after preventing Tomy's associates from robbing an ATM, an ATM? Wow, we're talking big league crimes. There are people that robbed ATMs back in 70 crime dramas. Come on, guys. Seriously? Unless they're hacking it to swipe somebody's identity, Really? An ATM? Wow. Peter returns to his Queens apartment only for his best friend Ned. Ned? Who the hell is Ned? What, did they get Ned Flanders in this now or something? So Ned was going to discover his secret identity. I'm Spider-Man, Ned. Oh, baby, I knew it. I knew you were Spider-Man. Oh, this is it. I could just see that conversation going well. On another night, Peter comes across Herman Schultz and Jackson Bryce selling Chitauri technology to gangster Arian Davis. Let's see. When he tries to intervene, Peter almost loses his life at Tomb's hands, but is rescued by Stark at the last minute. Of course! Because when you're in trouble, and if you have a problem, and he really doesn't give a shit what it is, Iron Man will be there to repulsor blast someone in the face and stick his shiny, reddish boots up their ass. Just for you. Because, well, you're going to owe the billionaire. And that's good for some clout right there, my friend. But yeah, basically, that's a bit of the plot of it. The Vulture, though, Tony Stark being in the movie is one of the main things why I want to see this. I mean, Spider-Man's like my third or fourth favorite Marvel character. Iron Man's my number one. If Iron Man's in this movie, I want to see it. You know, Spider-Man be damned. Oh, Iron Man's in this movie. I'm going to go for that. But the fact that it's Iron Man and the Vulture. It's mostly the fact that the Vulture's in this movie. The Vulture is one of the worst villains in Spider-Man's entire repertoire that he fights against. I mean, they could have pulled Mysterio out of this. Oh god, this is like a whole plethora of other ones they could have gained. Carnage would have been a good one for this. Oh god, there's so many. So many freaking villains they could have pulled out of this. They could have brought Wilson Fisk back. I could see him utilizing the Chitauri technology. You know, bring back the Kingpin. God, I'll even take around a Sandman again. I don't care. Can't do Venom. They kind of killed that with Tobey Maguire in the third movie. But you have those entire villains right there. But no, we choose Vulture. Why did they choose Vulture? What is the fascination with Vulture? Vulture sucks. Vulture is one of the worst villains in his entire plethora you can choose from, and you pick Vulture. I don't know. Anyway, it comes out next week. Give it a shot. Check it out. I might go to see it. If I do, I'll review it. If not, the hell with it. I mean, I still want to try to get Age of Ultron on DVD. On top of that, I got to find a portable DVD player, because I would like to watch movies again when I'm not on my tablet or doing stuff for YouTube. Alright, folks. Let's talk about Pokemon Go. That's right. It's time to put our little Pidgeys away. It's time to cook them up. Make some Pidgey under glass. It's time to put Pikachu back into your, I want to say back massager to be nice on here. Let's see here. And it's time to throw Charizard back into the dungeon to warm your house up in the wintertime, because Pokemon Go is basically dying. And you can thank Niantic for this one. Niantic came out with their latest update last Monday. They announced that they were shutting down the gyms, disabling them for the day, or at least for a few hours, to update the entire system. This would have been fine if they would have updated it a lot better. Now, I don't personally play this. I don't have a smartphone. I have a tablet. I don't have a plan on this tablet. I connect via Wi-Fi. So, for me, it's, unless I'm near a Wi-Fi signal, I'm not walking around in fields with my tablet trying to catch Pikachus. Not happening. But, anyway, things got bad with this. I do play it occasionally for a friend of mine using her phone while I'm down at the laundromat, because I'll walk. I mean, I'll walk around the little town while like my mom and I are doing laundry. I will gladly walk around the town. And yes, I know I'm a 27-year-old. I live with my mom. Bite me, okay? Bite me. It's nice being around family. Some family it's nice being around. But anyway, so I don't mind walking around for catching like anything. It's mostly bug types though that I end up catching for, like caterpies, weedles. I catch some Noctus, Pidgeys, Rattatas, you name it. I mean, before they introduced the Gen 2 Pokemon, it was literally Pidgeys and Rattatas is all I was catching for. Then when they introduced Gen 2, it's like, oh yeah, here I'm catching Pidgeys, I'm catching Rattatas. Oh yeah, by the way, did you see this weird-ass Pokemon? I caught like 3 of those. Oh, you did too? Oh, okay. But one of the cooler aspects of this was that you could throw your Pokemon in a gym. And I can understand the need of changing up a gym a little bit because you could have up to like 10 Pokemon in one gym before. And that would be a little on the high-end side. I mean, if you want to really try to go through a gym, first off, God help you. So screw it. Arceus help you if you want to go through one of the Pokemon Go gyms in your area pre the new update. Because all you've basically done is waste, literally, I want to say, an hour of your time. Because 10 Pokemon in there, you're not going to be able to beat it. Unless they're all one type, you're going to have a hard time beating it. Because your Pokemon are going to get worn out. They're going to get too much damage. It's basically a gauntlet at that point. But Niantic's new update royally screwed the pooch on this whole thing. Let me give you a rundown on this update and explain it to the best of my ability. So here's what it did. The update fixed up and changed up the gyms. You can only have 6 Pokemon in a gym now. No two same Pokemon can be in the gym. Every Pokemon has to be unique. So you can't have an entire gym of 6 Snorlaxes. It's not going to work. And if there's already one of that type in there, boop, you can't put that one in. So with at least 150 plus at least in there now, I want to go like maybe 300 maybe. It's definitely next to impossible to have a Pokemon in there that isn't already going to be there. For starters. That's just for starters. Then you have the fact that you don't collect as many Pokédollars anymore. So they kind of made it so that you really got to pay for the stuff. Well, keep in mind, it is a freemium game. It's free to download. It's free to play. If you want any of the extra stuff, you gotta pay for that. And I mean, you gotta pay for it. It's not a simple, we're gonna up and give you this, and this for free anymore. No, because according to my friend, you only get like 50 Pokédollars now anymore. Used to be 100, I think. Well, she said it was a little more than what you're getting now. She's a little pissed about it. I don't blame her. But then you have the fact that the new system is tweaking it in a really stupid way. And this is what they're doing. You basically have an emotion meter. I think what the hell they call it? Motivation meter. That's right. You have to motivate your Pokemon in order to defend this gym. Okay, so we're now treating the Pokemon like toddlers because we don't think that they can do anything on their own. Okay, I can sort of understand this. But what annoys me about this is that you're basically stuck in a gym. Because if, let's say you put in your high-level Pokemon, and it's not a gym that turns over all the time, because this is what my friend and her husband are going through right now, is that if you put yourself in a gym and there's like a low turnaround rate, you're not going to see your Pokemon in there get kicked out, and it's just going to be in there. Now you're thinking, well, that's fine, I'm collecting Pokédollars. Not as much as you think. as according to my friend, she only gets like 50 once. It's not per day. Which kind of sucks, because then unless you're getting kicked out and there's a high turnaround rate, you're not getting a lot. Because she was stuck in a gym until like Thursday. In fact, she wanted me to go around and feed some of the people in the gym, feed their Pokemon, and then when her husband told her, yeah, but then if you do that, they're going to get pissed at you because then their Pokemon's trapped in there and they can't pull it out. There's no turnaround rate on that gym, then it's going to pretty much be, she's like, oh yeah, crap. And she just completely forgot about that. She spaced on it. And that's what it's up to. But that's not the only thing they introduced with this update. Now, a lot of people out on YouTube have seen the videos of the raid boss. And I actually discovered something. And my friend's husband kind of figured it out too. And then when she was explaining it to him, he goes, oh, and then she was saying something to me about, or I was telling her about it. And he was explaining it to her then, because he called to ask her a question quick while she was at work. And it's like, oh yeah, and then she was telling him, well yeah, though there's this, and this, and too. And she was letting him know, hey, he kind of figured out something weird with this new raid boss thing. Because as I'm walking the streets, all of a sudden you get a notification. A raid event is about to occur. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I can just go run down there and participate in this. Nope. There's a timer. It's like 2 hours before this event kicks off. That's when you're going to show up. Neat. But the downside with that is that if there's a raid boss going on, if there's a raid event that's like 2 hours and counting, you are not going to find shit around that area. And I mean, like, for my example, let me go with where I was at. I was in a little borough type city location. Basically, I went in I went 5 blocks by 5 blocks around that whole area. I could not catch a single thing under, let's just say, over 110. I saw a couple, like I saw an 837 or 863 Murkrow. I saw a couple other things that were above 110. I could not catch them. You throw a raspberry at it, it runs. You throw any berry, it runs. You throw a Pokeball, it runs. You better catch it on one shot or it's out of there. Because it is not going to give you another chance because it thinks you're going to use it against whatever's giving off that energy that it's sensing. So that's leading me to think that these Pokemon in the game are programmed to know when when there's a raid boss coming, that, hey, we better get the hell out of here because something bad's going to happen. And they're going to try to use us against that. And my friend's husband noticed this because he couldn't catch anything over, I think she said it was like all week stuff. He was getting like under 100. I think like the highest I caught right after that was announced was a 110. So I'd just like to thank Niantic for finally putting the nail in its own coffin on this. I mean, besides not having a global trading system, which, by the way, I still don't think they do, and if they do, I apologize, but I don't think they do. They really need one. Because, let's face it, there are Pokemon that are still region-locked. Mr. Mime, Lapras, Kangaskhan. But a lot of these other Pokemon events are definitely ones to get. I mean, the raid events are a good way to possibly get the legendaries. Though there's no confirmation that they're even going to be in those. So far, the only 2 raid bosses that people on the internet have confirmed were an Alakazam, there was a Machamp, Tyranitar, and a Dragonite. Those were the ones that I saw videos of. Other than that, forget it. You are not going to find diddly squat around there until that raid event's done, and I don't know what other raid bosses are going to be. So, this is basically just going to be killing the game now. because my friend's husband goes that none of the people he was playing with are playing it anymore. They're uninstalling the app. They're saying to hell with this. They're done. There's an entire group on Facebook I found. Ironically, they are getting rid of it. They want nothing at all to do with this game anymore. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. They already put up, hey, anybody that has this yet, ditch it, get rid of it. And it was basically a PSA on Facebook. There was even a YouTube channel. Don't ask me which one, because it came up because I typed in Pokemon Go related stuff, and I really didn't pay attention to the name of the channel. I just watched the video. That had an entire video up urging people to uninstall the app and just forget it completely. Because the app is basically, the whole thing's cancer now. It's garbage. Nobody's going to want to play this game anymore because it's now a game of crap. Oh, sure, you can still catch Pokemon. Oh, sure, you can still evolve them. Oh, sure, you can still hatch high-level ones from the 10-kilometer egg. Otherwise, forget it. It isn't worth it anymore. You're literally getting screwed over for absolutely nothing. And that's what sucks the most about it. But anyway, like I said, maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll get worse. I'm assuming it's going to get worse because if you're going to end up ditching and losing about 90% of your gaming audience, and you're already up to about 70 right now. From my last check, there was a person online that was keeping track of this via a couple sites and actually said that about 90% of the players that were playing Pokemon Go have stopped. They hit level 40, they're done. Because now it's not worth it anymore. Because in their mind, now they got to put too much effort into this. Because now they have to do so much more. Because of this, they said it's not worth it. I don't blame them in any way, shape, or form. But it's just, maybe things will improve. Maybe Niantic will realize their mistake and undo it, tweak it a little bit. Keep in mind, it's still work in progress. But, I kind of think this is a nail in their coffin. Is it going to be the final nail? I don't know. I kind of thought this game would have, in all honesty, fallen off the face of the earth with all the accidents, people getting hit by cars, stupidly walking off cliffs. One poor sap fell into a manhole. That to me would have been a dozen red flags that, hey, this game is extremely dangerous, maybe we should stop playing this. But no. But anyway, I don't know what's going to happen anymore. It's completely up in the air. So, that's all there is to it. Alright. Let's talk about Marvel and DC. Now, as anybody out there that has ever heard the podcast knows, I am a fan of Marvel. I'm a Marvel nut. Iron Man is my favorite Marvel character. Iron Man all the way. I'm Team Iron Man. Hell, when they were doing Captain America Civil War on Twitter, I went with Team Iron Man and got told off by Falcon. So, the hell with me then, I guess. But anyway, recently I've been watching some YouTube clips from the old Batman Beyond series. I'll explain. Give me a minute. And I started wondering, there are some characters from the Marvel universe that really don't feel like they fit the Marvel universe. And now I'm thinking, then there are some characters from the DC universe that I think would not fit the DC universe well, but could fit better in Marvel. So then I started thinking about this as I was waiting to start work this week, and I'm like, I wonder which ones I could crisscross over. So I kind of thought about it for a little while, and here's kind of what I thought of. For characters from Marvel that can definitely go away, Vulture. Sorry, I'm not a fan of Vulture. I'm really not. We could actually get rid of... That's another Spider-Man villain. And I can't think of it. Christ. He worked for Mr. Big. Built the Spider Slayer. God, I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. I really am. Smite. That's it. Alistair Smite. You can get rid of him. That's what his name is. You can get rid of him. We could send a couple of the Captain America villains straight over. there's like an entire plethora of characters from like each one. We can pick like 2 or 3 of each and just send them over and crisscross. But I mean, some of them that I thought up definitely could go over to the DC universe. I mean, they just don't fit the Marvel universe in the ways that I'm thinking. Yondu's a good example. Yondu, I don't think fits the Marvel universe too well. Ronan, it's another one from Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see, what other ones are there? Okay, hold on. I got some time. Let me pull up a list here of Marvel characters. And let me see what comes up. So then I can pull up and I can tell you then which ones. I mean, I know that there are some that I know are good guys, and there are some that are bad, that are villains and heroes. But it would be nice to have some not be in Marvel anymore. And it would probably be a good idea if I put down what I'm looking for. Just type in Marvel in a freaking Google search, and you're going to get a whole bunch of crap. Okay. You can get rid of Deadpool. There's a good one. Deadpool can go. You get Deadpool, Cable. We can get rid of Cable. Let's see here. No, it's gonna stay. No, stay. You could get rid of Luke Cage. You could put Luke Cage over in DC. Sabretooth definitely could go over there. Jessica Jones. I don't even know who that is, but she could definitely go over there. I mean, but we don't have too many female characters to begin with. Let's see here. Wonder Man. Yeah, send him over to DC. That'll open up some questions. Got Wonder Woman and Wonder Man. That would work out well. Let's see here. I said Ronan the Accuser. Yeah, there's like a whole... There we go, Wikipedia. I mean, just Deathlock is another one that one can go over. Because they're just characters that don't fit, in my opinion, they don't fit the Marvel universe. They don't feel like they fit right. And I just don't know how to explain it. They just don't feel like they fit right in any way, shape, or form. But then I was also thinking about DC. Like, okay, which ones from the DC universe could we bring over to the Marvel universe? And I always had a couple in mind. Because I always thought, if DC would ever finally implode on itself, like, let's say the Justice League movie bombs, that they only make like $1.2 million opening weekend. That's all they make. I mean, the movie just freaking bombs. You were talking crater in the ground, smoldering ashes, nothing left of it. Flat out, it bombs. I'm thinking to myself, what characters from DC can we yank over to Marvel to save them? I mean, I'll throw a life raft and a life preserver out for them. Let's see which ones we can pull over. Green Lantern, I think, would do wonderfully well in Marvel. It is not... Its potential is literally wasted in DC. Because you have an entire galaxy of characters that could do so much in the way of development, plot, story, connecting it with the MCU, just from one alone. I could actually feel good bringing the Flash on to the Marvel side. Definitely got to bring the only Batman villain I ever liked, and that was Mr. Freeze. Because, let's face it, Mr. Freeze, in my opinion, he was not a villain. I mean, I know he was a villain, but he was made to be a villain. He was tortured inside by his wife's sickness. The fact that all he wanted to do was help her, but he had to turn to crime to do that, and was basically branded a villain because of it. The accident just completely drove him nuts. And it's just one of those... He's just one of those characters to me that seems like he was a good guy, just given a really bad break. He would do wonders in the Marvel Universe. Could you imagine him going up against Tony Stark? Or him going up against the Avengers? That would be something I would love to see. And I did think about this, though. I'm not the biggest fan of Batman. I could never get behind Bruce Wayne wearing the cape and the cowl, fighting crime. Never got on board with that. I watched the animated series when I was growing up. I could never get into Batman. It was just, for me, in all honesty, it was a time killer. When Batman Beyond came out, I was psyched about that. That actually looked pretty cool. You take Bruce Wayne, make him a mentor, and you just, do it that way. That I could get behind. So you could drag over Batman Beyond and make him, put him in the Marvel Universe. And for the rest of the DC characters, just throw them to the wolves. Let the rats drown in the sinking ship. Just save those. I mean, Mr. Freeze, The Flash, Green Lantern, and Batman Beyond. Oh, and Static Shock. Gotta bring over Static Shock, because we don't really have any good electric superheroes in the Marvel Universe. We got Shocker. He's a bad guy. Electro. He's a bad guy. We don't have any good heroes that use electricity. They're all villains. You have Electro and Shocker. They're villains. They are not good people. They're villains. So those are my character choices. Let me know in the comments below what you might think. I mean, there might be a character that you might like. I don't know. Maybe there's one that you think deserves to come over to the side of Marvel. To have the good studio. To have the good money. To not be having your film and franchise ruined. You can have a chance at a life of peace. Or you can just stay with DC and not come over to Marvel and I don't know. I mean, Marvel's got a well-established universe. How many Batman remakes have there been? Hey, seriously, how many Batman movies have there been in the last 20 years? I mean, there is the one that starred, that Danny DeVito played the Penguin. There was one where, you had the George Clooney one that Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze, which was the only reason why I went to see that movie. I'm sorry, that was. Well, okay, I'll admit it. Him and Uma Thurman. I kind of had a thing for Uma Thurman. And so we had those. You had the Christopher Nolan ones. You had The Dark Knight Rises. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. That's right. So you had those three. And now you're going to get like a Ben Affleck one. I finally see why DC's finally getting into the ball game here. They're finally getting to the point where, we're starting our own universe. We're starting the DCU. Here's the problem. Marvel's already got theirs. It's well established. They got the foothold in the sand. I mean, they got the foothold. You are literally building your universe on the sand. And to quote Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones, foolish is the man who builds his house upon the sand. I know it's a Bible verse. I'm not a very religious man. But foolish is the man who builds his house upon the sand. It's a favorite of geologists. I think it's Matthew something. I don't know. But I really don't know. I'm not a religious person. But anyway, DC is building their entire universe on sand. Because at any given moment, the movies could suck, and right out into the ocean it goes. Whereas Marvel, footholds established, they got like an entire city, they're going futuristic. DC's still trying to figure out how to make fire. That's why I'm saying bring over Static, Batman Beyond, Flash, Green Lantern, Mr. Freeze. Bring them over to Marvel before it's too late. I mean, DC's going to implode on itself. DC's going to crush itself into the dust. Let's do a trade. We'll get rid of some Marvel characters, send them over to the sinking ship that we know suck, and we'll drag them. I mean, if you want, throw Daredevil on there. I think Ben Affleck would love to beat the shit out of himself. He could have Batman versus Daredevil. There you go. That would be a good one. But yeah, there's an idea. Crisscross them over. Like, send some over to Marvel and send some over to DC. And send over the crappy ones over to DC and take those ones from Marvel. I mean, sure, it would mess up the continuity, but it would only really mess up the continuity of the comics. And as far as I'm concerned, they've rebooted the comics so many times with the New 52. Crisis, I think, was one. So they've rebooted their own comic series more times than their damn franchise and their damn universe has been rebooted. They've rebooted the comic series. So DC doesn't even know what the hell it wants to do. So yeah. I mean, if you want, we'll even, Marvel, take Wonder Woman if you want. I don't care. Trade Wonder Man for Wonder Woman. I don't care. Just save some of the characters from DC before they get caught in the implosion and end up sinking faster than the Titanic. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, that's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Then I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna get an earful on that one. I just know it. All right. Well, anybody out there that loves Dragon Ball Z Abridged definitely knows the abbreviation TFS. For those of you that don't, it stands for Team 4-Star. They do the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series, and my God, I think it's hilarious. They've finally gotten around to the latest episode, came out last week. I watched it, not too bad. Not a fan of Mr. Satan, then again, never really was. His daughter, on the other hand, yeah, I could get behind her. And not in a weird sort of way, pull your minds out of the gutter. I mean, like, she's a really good character. No, my heart, if you really want my heart for a female Dragon Ball Z character, Android 18. I'm sorry. Android 18 is the one I like the most. Sorry. I was pissed off to all hell when Cell absorbed her. I raged like you wouldn't believe. I was pissed when Gohan forced Cell to spit her out. I was thinking, good boy. Good boy. Go kill him. Go kill the monster now. Good boy. She's back. Yay. I was just so happy because she's back. Yay, she's back. But I'm getting a little off topic here. Team 4-Star does a lot of the abridged Dragon Ball Z. They did Dragon Ball Z Kai Abridged. I don't ever recommend seeing that. Would be neat if they would actually do Dragon Ball Abridged. I could really interesting to see how they would do that. Master Roshi's perverted ways and a younger Goku. That would be a formula for hilarity. Though they would probably get more copyright infringement takedown strike notices than anybody else in the world. But anyway, they recently started a new playthrough, and it's TFS Plays Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans. And first off, I'd like to say that I actually contemplated buying this game when it came out. And I actually looked it up online thinking, well, I wonder what it would go for nowadays. Like $130, brand spanking new. I'm not joking. We're talking $130, brand spanking new, for a game that I could have bought for $20. when it was brand new at the time. Brand new unopened, about $130. I was like, Jesus. I thought I was having an out-of-body experience for a moment. But anyway, so Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans, it's a weird game. It starts off at the end of Dragon Ball with the final tournament and the preparations for said tournament, where you play as Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin as they do some final training, and you learn the basics of the game. You take on Jackie Chun, Mai, and Shu, some demons. Each one of them has to face their own demons in their own way. Master Carrot comes back. Then you get to play as Goku, and they basically OP'd Goku for the Piccolo fight. I mean, like, they just freaking OP'd him. Because they literally had him to the wall. Down on the ground, he was beaten and bloody, and it was over. It was over. They were kicking ass and taking names. It was done. But anyway, the series itself is doing wonderfully. I do have to admit that. It is very well. It is very wonderful. The gameplay, though, of this game sucks. It's a turn-based RPG. Don't get me wrong, those are fun. I did play Golden Sun. That is one of my all-time favorites, which, by the way, would love to see the 4th installment of that. Though I think Camelot is officially out of business, I would still love the 4th installment. That would be nice. You know, at some point before I die. It would be nice to have. But anyway, they started playing this. The gameplay sucks. And I'm going to say it sucks for a reason. It's turn-based, but there's no gauging of which character goes first. There's no real good speed attribute. They basically tried sneaking in a Pokemon element to it. And all in all, this is just really a series that blows. But it's interesting because you can watch the end of Dragon Ball, which is basically the Piccolo fight and that crappy-ass filler that was afterwards with a little extra filler thrown in just for good measure. And you start off then after that battling Raditz, which lives up to the Dragon Ball Z opening main fight, the first fight in Dragon Ball Z. It lives up to it. But, I mean, in a weak sort of way. And I mean, it is in a weak sort of way that it lives up to it. So, yeah. But they're playing it. And this is a game that, honestly, I don't see why they couldn't make a sequel. Or better yet, eliminate the shitty Dragon Ball aspects. For starters, it's called Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans. Not Dragon Ball Attack of the Saiyans. Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans. And you have aspects from Dragon Ball in it, which all that data could have been used for Namek and the Android Saga and the Cell Saga. Oh, and the Boo Saga. And you could have called it Dragon Ball Z Battles. Would have probably sold a shit ton more than it did. But, let's face it, everything out there comes at a price, and all good things can never really come out. So far, the gameplay sucks. You can't turn Super Saiyan in this. However, you can take on Broly. He's an optional secret boss. Yay! So the only Super Saiyan in this entire thing is Broly. You can't go Super Saiyan to beat him because, oh, yeah, you can only learn the Kaioken. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know anymore, to be honest with you. But anyway, check that out. It's on their channel. TFS Plays Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans. And most of the time, they just make fun of it, Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Filler, which God knows it is. Because that's what it is. It's Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Filler. It's literally garbage, in my opinion. But it's my opinion. Not everybody's entitled to it. And since I got a little bit of time left, because my podcasts have seemed to go over the hour mark anyway, speaking of games, as I said earlier about the Pokemon Go game, the update royally killing the game off, speaking of which, a couple weeks ago, I gave a wonderful review on Hero Bots, Build to Battle. I still stand by it. Still a great game, even though the new update is pissing me off now. The newest update to this game changed up the landscape. And I mean completely changed it up. We're talking complete shakeup of this. And what happened is simple. So instead of having the option to get... Sorry about that. I had something I was trying to get at. Or at least pick off anyway. But anyway, instead of getting the cool characters and all that, the cool parts, it's like they basically want you to pay for it. It's almost like, yeah, we're getting popular, but you have to pay now. Because the newer update basically killed off some of the fun aspects of it. Now, you still get 2 diamonds like every 2 hours. That's still available yet. You can still do this, and this yet. But there's a downside to it. The downside being that a lot of the diamonds get used up really quickly, especially if you're parts hunting to evolve a part now. Because you don't get any... You used to be able to get 2 of them for free. You got one that was free, and one that would cost you 10 diamonds, or you could watch a video and make it free. Now you get one for free, all the other ones cost you 20 coins plus. So, like, if you defeat one of the bosses, and you get, like, let's say 5 parts, forget it. There's no way you're going to get anything you're not going to get all 5 of those parts unless you have a lot of diamonds. No way you can get diamonds? Well, you can pretty much buy them now. To a point. But that's kind of what bugs me about that. They did change up a few other things. Nothing really too major that I noticed that they changed up, but they still changed up a few other things. Like I said, landscape of how everything was going and all that stuff has changed. But it's still a fun game at its core. It's just some of the other aspects of it kind of suck now. But it's still a fun game. I still recommend checking it out. And I also recommend checking out Digimon Heroes right now. Because there's a weird event going on. It's called Platinum Numamon. Yes, we all know Numamon, that green annoying sludge-type creature. Yep, well, there's a Platinum version now. And what's ironically fun about this one is that boss is insanely tough. I took it on yesterday afternoon, and I beat it after maybe about a good 30 minutes of fighting. Then I took it on last night again to try to get some of the material to evolve my golden Numamon into that. It took me 3 hours to beat the damn thing because it heals 28,000 points of damage every 4 turns. It attacks you, does about maybe 200 damage depending on your characters, and heals 28,000 points. Yeah. So go figure. But yeah, I'd say check that out though right now. There's a lot of good apps out there right now that are going on, but like I said, Pokemon Go's pretty much dying. And speaking of dying, I'm getting tired for the night. It's been a long week, like I said, and my body is just telling me it's time to relax. It's time to call it a night. So I think I will. We're over the hour mark anyway, and I apologize if this podcast seemed phoned in. Nothing exciting happened this week. I mean, I could not find a single interesting article at all. And it was not for lack of trying. It's just that nothing exciting happened this week. And anything exciting that did happen sucked. It just wasn't worth my time. Or wasn't something that interests me. But anyway, this will pretty much do it for the podcast this week, folks. If you have any topic ideas, please say you do, because I could really use some for future podcasts. Send them to me via email at acrpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can send them to me on Twitter using the hashtag ACRPodcastTopics. All lowercase, by the way. You can also send them to me via Twitter at @OtakeRoads. Don't forget, you can also follow me on there, too. If you'd like to give me some suggestions or ask some questions for future podcasts, feel free to send them to me via email at acrpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can send them to me via Twitter. That's right, via Twitter at... Well, you can just follow me on Twitter and just send them to me and tweet them to me at @OtakeRoads on Twitter. And for the absolutely completely random podcast, for this hour and 6-minute podcast, I'm getting a little better, I guess. Last week I was like almost at an hour and a half again. But anyway, for this week's absolutely completely random podcast, my name is Andrew Rhodes. I thank you for letting me into your lives for the last hour. And I will catch you all next week. Hopefully I'll have some better topics. I don't know. I hope some good stuff happens during the week. Until then, bye everybody!